Oh
Like
yeah,
it's
it
only
is. I keep
3.
forgetting that.
Yeah. Hey, we're live. Hey, Chiefs Kingdom. Thank you so much for joining in. I am with my friend Farzin, and he is a blogger. You can check him out at thearrowheadaddict.com. But I asked him just, hey, he's where I get all of my Chiefs news, and he keeps me updated. So I was like, you want to go live with me? And he said yes. So I feel like I'm with a celebrity right now. Farzin, how are you doing?
I don't know if I'd go. I'd go celebrity status, but I do appreciate the compliment. I appreciate you having me on. How are you doing this evening or
Hey,
afternoon where you are?
I'm doing great. I'm Alaska. Where are you at?
I'm in Kansas City, so it's
Yeah.
it's cold. It's in
Yeah.
September.
Well, right. How cold is it there? Because I'm pretty sure I have you beat there.
Um, it's it was in the 90s on Labor Day weekend, and I don't think it's been above 61 since Monday. It's
Okay.
the highest has been is 52. It basically feels like late October.
Oh,
It's
oh,
football weather,
wow.
which is very
That's
timely.
actually, and you're right where we are then. Yeah, so I guess we're tied right now. I'm so excited. So when I was sending some messages to Farzid when I was playing this, I was like, "Wait, is this a pregame show?" And he's like, "No, this season is starting. So tonight, I can't believe it. It usually feels like we have to wait forever for football season to start, but not now. Like tonight is the season opener with our favorite team. How are you feeling?"
I'm excited. I mean, it's been a long 7 months.
Yes.
Um, it just feels so weird. I think there was a lot of uncertainty as to whether or not this was going to happen, and then all of the postponements and also with the racism, all of that going on. A lot of people weren't sure what was going to unfold for the rest of the year, but kind of feels nice to have football season back. I'm a huge Vegas Golden Knights fan. So, and by the way, like all my teams are playing tonight: the Lakers, Chiefs, Golden Knights. So I'm a huge hockey fan. When I did not have the Golden Knights, that was just killing me. And so when they came back, that just brought so much normalcy back into my life. That just gave me a lot of energy, just that alone. So it's been a crazy few months. So it's good to see football coming back. Of course, it's the most popular sport. I know a lot of people are going to choose not to watch, choose to watch, whatever they want to do. But some normalcy is coming back, and hopefully it stays that way.
Agreed. Thanks, Yolanda. Yes, finally football. And it really does feel like that. I agree. Like the normalcy coming back in just little tiny pieces kind of pushes you out of that like that little cloud that the pandemic has put us under for the isolation that we feel more than we're used to. And I was so excited last night when I was watching the NFL. They had like a promotional, I don't, it was with Queen Latifah. Did you catch it?
I saw most of it. I didn't get to watch the entire thing. I did want to see the Roger Goodell interview. Look, I mean, I think there were some good takeaways from that. I'll definitely want to check it out sometime this weekend. But I think one of the things Roger Goodell made a point of is that, hey, look, for people who are saying do this at their own time or don't mix all the stuff in sports, you know, Goodell made a good point in the fact that these are people who are humans just like us. They're taxpayers just like us. Just because they play in athletics doesn't mean they have to just stick to that. They're people just like us, but they have a bigger platform and they want to make an impact. They know that they can be an influencer, so they definitely want to have a hand in that.
Right. I loved it when the guy asked them, and I should know all their names because they were all like pretty huge people. He was like, what are you going to tell those people that are going to boycott because they don't want their politics to mix with their sports?" And he said, "Listen, these, like over 70% of our players are non-white. This impacts their lives.
Yeah.
So if you're asking, it's not a political issue, it's a human being issue. It's an issue that impacts their lives, it impacts their families' lives." I mean, he said it on point, and he even said, it took him a long time to get there. I don't know. It felt very hopeful. I thought if he could get it, then there's a lot of hope for the rest of us. I found it very encouraging. So, hey,
Yeah,
Dr. Tracy.
it's one of those things where it's just I think a lot of people in the beginning were unsure, what exactly the kneeling was. People weren't, and I think there's some fault in what Colin Kaepernick, the way he did it, because his message was not clear in the beginning, but eventually things got clear. People know why. But I think when the whole George Floyd incident happened, it was so easy to compare the police officer Siobhan's kneel to Kaepernick's kneel. The side by, you know what I'm talking about, the side by side meme
Mhm.
where people were saying this is why we kneel, and I think a lot of
Right.
people were saying, okay, we get it. Now there are still some people who don't want to change their stance, and that's fine. But there are a lot of people who are at this point. It's just hard to deny the why. I mean, it's
Right.
pretty obvious now.
And I love it. And even Goodall said that, sports have always been influencing change throughout the years. It talked about, Jackie Robinson, the 1968 Olympics, more that are not coming to my mind right now, but just, they've always been the forefront of change. And so I was really impressed. I enjoyed it. So I hope you do get to watch the full interview because it was really good. And we have come a long way. And honestly, for a lot of us, it just takes over and over, to hear it and to see it and to make it important. So we'll see some changes on the field. There's going to be some words in the end zones that you and I both are excited to see. So yeah, but also that's an amazing thing. But what do you think the score is going to be? And if you're watching, what do you think the score? Who do you think is going to win? What do you think the score is going to be tonight?
Man, I don't even remember what my score prediction was. I think I said, what did I say? I don't remember. I don't even remember what my own score. I think I said 24-10 or 24-13. I don't know. Maybe that's even a little disrespect to our own offense because I know we can light it up, and I know the Texans, they didn't have the greatest offseason necessarily. So I think we'll be able to score at least 25, 30 points, put up some big numbers, and come away with a win. More importantly.
Yes, I totally believe we're going to come away with a win, and I wouldn't be surprised if we were not leading for just a little bit. That seems to be the way that we close our season. I don't know. I think our enemy is going to be chomping at the bit to defeat us. So I have a feeling we're gonna have to work extra hard tonight. But it's okay because I don't give up when Kansas City's playing. Whether it's the Royals, whether it's the Chiefs, even if we're down a little bit, it doesn't bother me. I know we can come back up and take over. So, and we prove that over and over.
Yeah, I just think this team's been weird the past couple of years. It's just I remember that Raiders game. We didn't score in the first quarter. We were down 10-0, and then we just scored 28 points in one quarter, and we didn't score the rest of the game. It's like we score a lot in a short amount of time. So if that's what it takes to win, hey, I'm good with it. I do prefer like 4 quarters of dominance, just complete domination. That feels kind of cool, but I'll take an exciting ending as well.
I don't know. Sometimes when we don't have any sort of fight, like it bores me and I'm just like, oh, we won. Click. I can't do it. Like I have to have some sort of plot twist there. That's what I have to feel my adrenaline, like, the up and down. That's what makes me feel like I'm alive sometimes. So I don't mind.
That's why I'm a huge hockey fan, because in that sport, even if it's like a scoreless game or if it's 1-0 or even if it's a blowout, the losing team will be a little pissed off, and even like at the end of the game, they'll chase down a player just to have that one last punch in. I've gotten into hockey the past couple of years, and I told you this before we went live that I'm a huge Vegas Golden Knights fan, and I mean that is just hockey is really an exciting sport to me. I know not a lot of people in Kansas City watch it because we don't have a pro hockey team. We have a minor league team, but it's a really fun sport to get into. So if you want to see fights, I mean, that's another great place to go.
I mean, I'm talking about like a metaphorical fight. I'm not like, punching, It's
no,
like
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Like a battle.
Yeah. Yes, of course. And I grew up in the Midwest. So I'm from a little outside of Kansas City, Missouri called St. Joseph, Missouri. And so, yeah, you're right. Hockey isn't super huge. We didn't really grow up with that. Now that we're in Alaska, it's huge here. And I need to get my kids in there because people love hockey. It's all over the country, even if it's not in the Midwest.
I cannot skate. I will fall on my face or maybe just crack the back of my head open. I'm always impressed when they fall down, they immediately get back up, or during the national anthem when they're just all standing still for that minute and a half or however long. I don't know how they do that.
Have you ever tried to ice skate?
I have. It did not go well.
Oh, okay. Because I've ice skated. It's not that hard to be still.
Really?
So, okay. No, like, I don't know. No, I ice skate. So All right, yes, 37-17. And we had 28-21 from Tracy, and Yolanda said 31-14. And what was your score? What was your prediction, Farzin?
I said 24-10, but I think that might even be disrespecting our own offense. So I'll change it to, I don't know, 31-10. 31-10. Let's go with that.
Okay. You and Yolanda are kind of around the same. I'll take 37. Yes. And you know what? Even if they're going to win the entire game and there's hardly any plot twists, I'm not going to turn this game off. I'm so excited. When did they have their parade in Kansas City?
It was
right
the
before
Wednesday
everything.
after the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh, I cried. I was like screaming and throwing things in front of the TV. It was amazing. I love it. I'm so ready for us to get back into this. Have you been following Kansas City baseball at all, the Royals?
No, I'm not a big baseball guy. I know we're not really good. I know there have been a lot of injuries. I know Whit Merrifield's the only really notable player on our team. Maybe Danny Duffy. That's all I can tell you about baseball.
I love the Royals, and you can kind of see in the background. I love them. I love both number 15s. So here we go. All right, we got some more predictions coming in. Enzo says 31-17. All right. Oh, cool. Tracy says New Orleans was so happy, or I'm sorry, New Orleans was so happy for Kansas City. I think the whole world was. That was pretty amazing.
So, yeah.
I wonder how those San Francisco fans are feeling tonight.
Oh, yeah, because whoever wins the Super Bowl, they host that first game usually. So, yeah. As Chiefs fans, like the way we've lost heartbreaking games, it's like the fashion we've lost games. It's now our opponents have been experiencing that. So it's always nice to be like on the other side of that coin for an entire playoff series, I guess. So, I don't even think they're watching this game tonight. That's just my guess.
Yeah, I bet they're too bitter. Also, I would be actually still very bitter about that. That was awesome. And it's so funny because wasn't it the year before when Defer, did he go out like he went out of bounds? Is that what killed us?
He was offside,
like,
by like 2, 3, 4 inches. Yeah. That and on that play, that's when the Chiefs got an interception. So everyone thought we were going to the Super Bowl like it was over. But yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to say, I knew from that moment, like the next year, we were going to go all the way. When you sent me that, when I won that cereal box, I knew like that cereal box and we were going to watch every single game together. And I did. I took it to the little bar that my husband and I went to watch the game for the Super Bowl. And I shook it so hard that I'm sure the cereal inside is like tiny little pieces. It was so fun. My son wants to eat it. And I'm like, you don't understand. This is, you got to be a true fan. You can't be eating this cereal. It's not from eating. But yes.
It's a limited edition cereal.
Right. By the time we open it, it will have gone bad.
Yeah, you don't want to open that. It's funny. I gave away a few of those cereals last year, and I actually met a couple from, I want to say New York City or Boston. I met them during the season last year, and then I was in Vegas, and there's a really cool sports bar called Blue Diamond Saloon. It's actually a Chiefs-themed sports bar in Vegas. And I went there, and somebody had approached me, and he mentioned that I sent him the same cereal for the game. So it's kind of weird. I ran into a couple of those cereal winners.
That is so cool. I love Vegas too. I'm still hoping to make a trip out there for my 40th birthday. So I went ahead and made some plans. I might have to cancel them. I don't know, but I love Vegas. Also, what bar is it called again?
It's called Blue Diamond Saloon. It's a really small bar. If you want a good seat, you got to get there pretty early. Do you know who Gerard DaCosta is?
No.
Did you ever hear about that Chiefs fan, the construction worker who buried the flag?
Yes.
That's Gerard. So it's funny because a couple of years ago, Gerard texted me. He knew I had him on my podcast as a guest to talk about that whole thing. And he texted me and said, hey, you need to come to Blue Diamond Saloon. Christian Okoye is going to be there.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, man, we already have plans. We were going to another sports bar for the game. But, eventually we made it out there. It's a really small bar. It's one of those where you go to the window and you order food and you can have it come to your table or you can pick it up however. Not really my type of bar, but he's always been badgering me to go there. His friend is the owner of the bar, and he saved my family and I a few seats because we got there right at kickoff. So it was a pretty cool place to experience with some Chiefs fans there. We were there for the Week 17 game against the Chargers. That's when we needed to win, and we also needed the Dolphins to beat the Patriots so we can get that number 2 seed. And when Ryan Fitzpatrick threw that touchdown pass to beat the Patriots, everyone in that bar erupted. It was pretty, like, people were louder for that moment than anything that happened in the Chiefs game. So that was pretty cool just to experience that. And I've always wanted to go to that sports bar, so it was nice to finally experience that.
Oh, that is so cool. I'm going to try to stop by, like, if I can. I mean, who knows what COVID will be, if I'll even get to go. And I love that. I love finding Chiefs fans, like, in pockets around the country. So in Texas, where I've spent almost half of my life, there was the cool bar that I finally found right before we left. And it was for the Chiefs. And so if I go back, I really want to go there, because it's amazing to be in, like, Chiefs Kingdom. Your family, doesn't matter if you've known each other for 5 minutes or 5 years or whatever. We're all over the place, and it's amazing. So yeah. What do you think? What are you looking forward to most this season? You think we're going to go all the way back to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we brought back almost every player, and we have all of our assistant coaches back, and I think we brought back 20 of our 22 starters. Now, Damian Williams, he opted out, and so did Laurent Duvernay-Tardif because of the COVID-19. A lot of players have opted out this year. So we have 18 of 22 starters back, and all of our assistant coaches are back, which is almost impossible to do coming off a Super Bowl win. So, I mean, Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator, he definitely should be a head coach, but hey, he's not, and he's embracing coming back in Kansas City. So it was a perfect opportunity to win 2 in a row.
Yeah, I hope so. I believe we can do it. That is so cool. And isn't, like, Patrick Mahomes, he's like owner now or part owner of the Royals too, right? Like, there's exciting things that started happening, on the off season. So Kansas City is just alive right now. This is so exciting. What is it like there anyway? What's it like? What's the climate like? I mean, not,
I was just picking up Joe's KC because my family and I were getting together for the game, and I went to go pick up dinner. I mean, everyone's got a Chiefs hat, a Chiefs jersey on. Even for the first preseason game, I know we didn't have the preseason this year, but if you go out and about to the grocery store or wherever, I mean, everyone's wearing red. I mean, everyone's just ready. Even I think what's so nice about our fan base is even during the down years, people care about this team. They may not attend games, but they still care about this team. Whereas with the Royals, I can't say that. I used to intern for a sports station in Kansas City in 2009, and I remember, I would screen calls and put all the callers on hold. And when the host went to a commercial break, all these people wanted to talk about the Royals. Half the callers dropped. No one wants to wait on hold that long to talk about a terrible baseball team. And I know the Royals won a few years ago, but they're kind of back to that bottom of the league. But even when the Chiefs are bad, this fan base cares. I mean, Chiefs fans and Royals fans are the same. But there's a football town. There's a football town, and everyone cares about this team. Everyone's happy that it finally happened. They won a Super Bowl.
Yes, I know. It needs to spread. Like, it seemed like it needs. They're so close. Their stadiums are. They just need to, like, spread whatever winning spirit. Chiefs, Arrowhead, please spread it onto Kaufman. But yes, and I go back and forth. There are years that I love the Royals, like, way more than there are years that the Chiefs are my thing. But I grew up loving both teams. So yeah, no matter where I am or where I live, I've always been a Chiefs fan. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. And like you said earlier, just these little tiny bits of normalcy, it makes everything feel so much better. And so definitely looking forward to that also.
Yeah, I hope so. I know. I think only one player since August 30th tested positive for COVID-19. So hopefully it stays that way. I'll be honest, I'm a little nervous, with now that teams are going to be traveling, going to airports, hotels, whatnot. Hopefully, I'm trying to stay optimistic. I know a lot of people have different opinions about the spread of this and all, but hopefully it stays that way so we can have a full season without any interruptions, because I think we really need that considering how this year has gone.
Yeah, definitely. And it would be amazing to see a second 2 year in a row Super Bowl championship. It'd just be like, I can't even imagine it, to be honest. It's just so exciting to even think about. But like this time last year, I knew we were going all the way to the Super Bowl. Like, nobody could convince me otherwise. And I'm not as smart as you. Like, I don't know all the little tiny details of everything. And that's why I follow you. I've told you, because you're the one that keeps me, about all the other teams. But I knew from September on that we were going straight through. I just knew it. And so this year I want to be convinced again. I'm ready. I'm ready to watch it happen. And what do you know about the Texans? I don't even follow any team but the Chiefs. What do you think about them?
I know they lost. They lost DeAndre Hopkins. They actually are talking about him right now on TV. So, I mean, in my opinion, he's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. I know he did not have a single drop a couple of years ago. So, I mean, this is a team that they've definitely had our number. Don't forget we lost to them last year, and in the playoffs they were ahead of us 24-0. Now, I think if you watch that game, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot and we just basically gifted them 24 points. So, and don't get me wrong, the team, still deserves credit for taking advantage of another team's miscues. But, they've got a really good defensive line with J.J. Watt. Everyone knows who J.J. Watt is. Whitney Mercilus, another good defensive lineman. But, I mean, Bill O'Brien, not really the greatest head coach. He's also a general manager. It's very unconventional to do for a football team.
That is weird. Yeah.
Especially considering how last season went. The Texans, I think they're going to be good, and they might be the second best team in the conference, but there's still a big gap between number 1 and number 2 right now. And now that I said that, we're going to see otherwise tonight because I just said that. But no, I think the Texans are a competitive team. Deshaun Watson's a great quarterback.
Yes.
I'm interested in seeing, if he can cause some problems on our defense because we have a couple of players who are suspended. So I'm curious to see how he does without some of his big playmakers.
I know they're going to be ready. They're going to be ready for defeat. I want to say Enzo. He's one of his only fans in Florida. So thank you for joining tonight. I know you must be desperate to be with other Chiefs fans. I feel that. Do you have any superstitions that you abide by throughout football season?
Oh gosh. Not
anybody
really.
Watching, do you have any superstition things that you have to do?
Not really. I'm trying to think. I used to when I was a kid. When I played basketball, I would always go to sleep in my basketball jersey the night before a game as good luck, which never worked. So I think when I experienced that, I just learned early on these things don't exist. I'm trying to think. I don't think I really have any superstitions or anything like that. Do you?
I do. I don't mean to. It's just that sometimes I feel personally responsible. So let's just say that they're losing or trailing. I'm like, if I turn this TV off, if I'm not watching, the denominator must be me. So I turn the TV off. And of course, once I turn the TV off, then they get ahead sometimes. And then I'm like, I totally am so glad I turned the TV off, gave myself some time to breathe, and then, turn it back on. And there they are, winning again. And I don't know why I go through this every single year, every single season. It's just weird like that. But the cereal box, my son was like, I really want to eat this. My son was, and I think because he really likes Patrick Mahomes and he thinks it's he's a boy and Patrick Mahomes, is a guy there's just he really wanted to eat that cereal. We are not eating that cereal.
If you want to gross him out, just let him know that on top, because I bought that cereal. I have one for myself. And I still remember seeing this. The expiration date was this past summer. So
okay,
if you want to convince your kids not to eat expired food, there's one reason right there.
Well, I don't think it would keep him from doing anything. But
no, probably not.
Yeah, he's not. But I felt like if we ate it, we would not go to the Super Bowl. So whatever. I have to say. I did not eat it. And then I said, we might eat it if they go and they win, right, afterwards. And then I was like, no, they won. We're going to keep this cereal for as long as I'm alive. Don't touch it. And if you do, you're dead.
I remember, I don't know why I just thought of this story, but DJ Evans, who co-hosted the Chiefs Zone podcast with me, really nice guy. He's from Chicago. And I know he has season tickets. He'd be here if he could for the game, but because of the capacity limit, he's not. But I remember he sent me a video. He was at Chiefs training camp in St. Joe. And have you ever been to training camp there?
Yes. Well, that's my hometown. Yeah. And yes, of course, when they first put the facility up, I went and saw it.
So where one of the practice fields where there's kind of a weird hill behind the end zones? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So that's where a lot of the fans are because the players come in that direction when they're wrapping up practice. And when they're on their way there, they go and sign some autographs. And my DJ sent me the video. As soon as Patrick got there, and because it's, downhill, everyone's just like pushing forward, and there are people who are putting a Sharpie and whatever they want sign up to Patrick, say, Patrick, sign this for me. Patrick, sign this for my friend. Patrick, sign this for my brother. He's in the hospital right now. It's like, I don't like. I mean, I'm sure he lives a great life, but there's also that small part of him that, because he hardly says no to a lot of things, he can't sign every single autograph there. It's just, you just kind of feel bad, I guess, if you can't fulfill every autograph. I mean, there are people who are like 5 rows back pushing down that hill. It's like, you're not going to get anything signed. You're just not.
Right. And I had totally forgotten that that's where the training camp was. And of course, I went to Missouri Western for a year and a half before I moved. So
that's the Griffins, right?
Yeah. That's where the training camp is. Yeah, the college. Yeah. So that is so cool for my hometown that we host training camp. Yes. And my dad, when he was still alive, he would go. My sisters would go. So it's a pretty big thing for St. Joseph and for Chiefs fans. So that is really cool. Well, I don't want to keep you on because the game's about to start, right? Like we're just 6 minutes ahead.
The Golden Knights game starts in 6 minutes. The Chiefs start in about 20 minutes.
Oh, okay, great. Oh, okay. Because I like do time changes all day long. Like
no, it's all good. I got a few more minutes though. If you want to talk about something else.
Yeah, great. No, and if you're watching, let us know like if you have any superstitions, what you think the score is going to be. What are you looking forward to this year? Who's your favorite player? I think it goes without saying that number 15 is my favorite player, and I love how it goes right with Whit Merrifield. And I do love baseball. I named
I didn't realize that.
youngest son. My youngest son's name is Whit, and I named him after Whit Merrifield.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
Whit McAllister. I had to convince my my husband. It took almost the entire pregnancy to convince him that I am naming our son after my favorite baseball player. So, I mean, or George Brett, right? Because I this is my life growing up. But yeah, so my favorite players are number 15. What about you?
I mean, obviously, Patrick Mahomes. I got to go with Tyrann Mathieu as well. I mean, he's only been here for a year, but just the impact he has made on and off the field. I mean, the guy's a leader. The guy's very passionate about what he does. And I think off the field too, even before he came to Kansas City, people always valued the things that he's had to say. I remember when Laura Ingraham of Fox News criticized LeBron James for, shut up and dribble or whatever it was. He was one of the athletes who was very vocal against her comments. And now you see him and just the impact he's trying to make. He's also got a voter register. I don't know if you saw this, but he was warming up on the field in a Chiefs shirt that said vote.
That's so cool.
Yeah, just the impact he had. In fact, the Chiefs recently released a video with Mahomes, Kelsey, Matthew, Andy Reid, Mark Donovan, and Clark Hunt telling people to vote as well. So just the impact that Tyrann Mathieu's made. And I remember he came in at the same time the Chiefs released Eric Berry, which is, a very hard player to replace. But Tyrann Mathieu's filled that role in very perfectly.
Yeah, no, he is a rock star. So will you address Tyler's question, expectations for Clyde compared to Hunt's first game? What do you think? Oh, that sounds like a football smart question. I can't answer.
That is, I don't even know if that's really even possible to compare the two, because Kareem Hunt, if you remember, he fumbled on his first snap. Do you remember that game, the Chiefs-Patriots 3 years ago, the first game of that season? Yeah, so Kareem Hunt fumbled on the first snap, and then after that, he never fumbled again, and he went to have the best debut in NFL history. For Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the problem is, because of the pandemic, these guys have not had a proper offseason. They have been, doing Zoom calls or, video chats like this, but, at the same time, it's like you can only do so much when you're only doing video conferences. He hasn't had those repetitions. So look, they're not going to really put a whole lot on his shoulders, because you have Patrick Mahomes, you have Tyreek Hill, you have Travis Kelce, you have everybody essentially. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire probably won't be that number one. Maybe he will be. I don't know. He could be a secret weapon for all I know. Maybe he does have that Kareem Hunt kind of debut, but I think at the end of the day, he will have a really good season. I think it's going to gradually take time for him to even – because keep in mind, all the rookies who are playing this week, this is their debut. This is their preseason. They didn't have a preseason. So I think a lot of people are excited for Clyde. I am too, but I think his and every other rookie out there, I think their progression will take some time this year.
Where is Clyde from?
He went to LSU.
Okay. Okay.
You know what's nice about that is even though he was not on the team, LSU won a championship. So everyone on our team won a championship last year. So everyone has that championship mentality.
Yeah, that is awesome. I can't imagine like you want your whole life to be a pro sport athlete, football, whatever, no matter what it is, but then your debut is like during a pandemic. Like that just must be such a, I don't want to say a curse word, but really mess with your mind, you know?
During a pandemic, you got drafted by the Super Bowl champs. I mean, all the craziness going on in the world right now. And because, I mean, what is there on TV right now?
Right.
I mean, Big Brother. I mean, I like Big Brother, but it's horrible. It's a horrible show. Like everyone's going to be watching football tonight or basketball, hockey, whatever. So all eyes are on you tonight.
Right. I mean, when it comes to reality TV, I think sports is the best reality TV, period, you know, because,
Oh yeah.
and I have friends that would argue that they feel like football has taken, you know, they're like they're really upset with the officials. They have been for years. They feel like, you know, games are determined by the stupidest things, and they don't think that, you know, professional football is worth watching anymore. I don't care. Like I love the Chiefs, and I'm still gonna watch. And
The people
you
who say
know,
that still watch. They just want retweets and likes. People still watch.
oh yeah, I agree. And who is your favorite? Who's your favorite university that plays a college team?
I don't know if this is kind of embarrassing to say, but KU.
Oh, that's not
Uh,
embarrassing. That's so cool. Okay,
well, for
well,
football, it is. I mean, we're getting a little better. I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not a big college sports fan. Like even as a KU basketball fan, college sports is just not appealing to me. And I realize I might be the only KU basketball fan who says that. Um, Plus, it's like I can't. I'm not one of those people that like I watch my teams. Like I watch the Chiefs, the Golden Knights, the Lakers. And I'll follow KU as well. I'm also a huge UFC fan, but I can't follow the entire league. I mean, there are people who know everything about the NBA, everything about the NFL, everything about baseball. I just can't keep up that much. I don't know how some people do it, but I don't even know where I was going with this. But yeah,
I thought
I'm
you.
not big on college sports personally.
Okay. I thought you did keep up on all this stuff. It's good to know. Like I can only focus. I have 5 kids, y'all. Like I can't keep up with much. Like I'm good to make a paycheck for crying out loud. So I do like KU. I grew up, you know, we were Jayhawkers. So yes. But I mean, I don't care if my teams are winning or losing. I still love them. It doesn't matter to me. I'm still going to be the fan. I'd still pay, you know, an arm and a leg just to go watch them, even if they were in a losing season. So, I mean, it would be the times that I actually got to go to Chiefs games, like be there for real. It's just so powerful and magical. I don't think I sat the entire time, and I had really good seats, you know. But the first game I ever went to, I was with my best friend at the time. I was in 8th grade, and Joe Montana was the quarterback. That was the first Chiefs game I ever went to.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, and because my dad would take my brother, he would never take me when he would go. It wasn't until I was like a teenager that I got to go to games with him. So yeah, I would pay to watch them whether they were winning or losing. I love them. So that's so cool.
I remember the first time I went to a game because you got to keep in mind because my family and I were originally from Iran, so American football is not appealing to a lot of other countries. So it took some time for us to kind of get acclimated to that sport. And I remember in 5th grade, a classmate of mine, his mom was sick, so they took me to a Chiefs game, and that was the year Dante Hall had like 4 touchdowns in 4 straight games. We saw one of them, and that was the first time I went to a Chiefs game, and that was when they started 9-0. They had that magical run, and that's when they had that playoff game against the Colts, the no punt game. My dad got 2 tickets for him and I to go, and I remember it was so hard to get a ticket for that game, but he managed to get one, and we went. And I remember we were down, I think, by 2 touchdowns, and there was some hope lost in the stadium. And I remember Dante Hall took a kick return back 96 yards for a touchdown, and everyone lost it. There was a guy. I was like in 6th or 7th grade. I think I was in 7th grade. Or what year was that?
No,
that was 2003. That was 2003 because I remember
I was there. Wait. Was that in Kansas City?
The no punt game, yeah.
Well, and when they threw the 98-yard touchdown pass.
No. Dante Hall took a 96-yard kick return back. It was not a pass.
Okay.
It was a kick return. But I remember someone 3-4 rows in front of me got an empty beer bottle and chucked it as hard as he could. And my dad's just hugging me, trying to make sure like nothing hits my head or anything. So I remember that moment. I'll never forget that moment. I mean, even though we lost, that was a really, really cool moment just to see Arrowhead go from super sad to super ecstatic in just 10 seconds like that.
I was gonna say, who was your favorite all-time Chiefs player? And yes, Derek Thomas. And Derek Johnson. Those were my formative years watching them play, and then of course when I was in college, Priest Holmes. They were our favorite players.
Yeah.
But the one thing about being a Chiefs fan is you can go hot and cold so fast, like because the game will be like it'll be on. But I guess it's true for any football game. It can be on and then off in just a matter of seconds or minutes. I mean, just ask San Francisco. They were on, and then they lost in just a matter of a few minutes. So that's what I love about watching this game. And I don't know if we addressed Tyler's question, but he wants to know: did you answer the first game? Was that Indy? And you said yours was when you went with your friend in the 6th grade?
Yeah, I still remember, that was against the Steelers, and Dante Hall, he took a touchdown back, and the Steelers kicker actually tried to trip Dante Hall. And for whatever reason, the Chiefs got penalized for that. And the referee thought the Chiefs were the ones committing the tripping. And then the other official went and corrected him, and they reversed it and the touchdown stood. So that was a weird sequence right there.
Yeah, I hate it when those calls happen, and then of course it ruins the rest of your game. That sucks.
Yeah,
but it happens. It happens all the time, and sometimes it goes in our favor, and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, I'm going to say something, but I can't remember what it was. I should have written it down. Yeah. But anyway, are there any last words? Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I got to go find the station that this is on. I'm in Alaska, y'all, and it's still in the afternoon, and you guys are already in the evening.
It's on NBC.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. And I didn't even know this. I mean, you're my smart football friend. Oh, that's what I was going to say. When I don't understand why plays are happening, I'm like, I used to text my dad, but he passed away a couple of years ago. So now I text my brother everything. Like, what the H just happened? I do not understand. Like, I'm cheering, and then there's a flag thrown against us. I'm thinking, these are all questions I have. But no, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody who's watching, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing your comments with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Predictions. Yeah, I would love to do it again. Just let me know. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, great. Let me know anytime.
Yes. Well, enjoy yourself tonight, and go Chiefs. Happy Chiefs Kingdom, y'all. Bye. Oh, wait. One more last comment. Come on in. Well, Enzo, I know everyone in the NFL is coming after us. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Bye, everybody.